Hey there, Jeff here with It's Not Your Fault. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I do appreciate everyone that's been tuning in. I'm absolutely amazed at the support I've been getting. It's wonderful to see comments from people I've never met before and probably never will meet, but knowing that I'm somehow affecting their life by the information I'm giving and the knowledge that I'm passing on really does move me. I can't tell you. It's wonderful. I'm coming to you live tonight. No, we're not live. This is recorded. Okay. Yeah, so I'm recorded. So forget that. And but we'll be doing these, like I said, once a week coming forward. And I was not feeling very well last week. In case you guys saw my video, you probably picked up on that. A little bit of upper respiratory infection. It's spring here in South Carolina, and everything is blooming. I don't usually get affected by allergies, but who knows? I'm getting older. I can tell by the gray here that's happening. But anyway, I again do appreciate everyone coming in and tuning in. I'm coming to. I mean, we're. I mean, I've got. Let's see. According to this, we got tens of that. No, it's tens of people tuning in. That's wonderful. I'll take it. But again, it's a blessing that you're here with me tonight. So it's not your fault. Remember, it's not your fault. You didn't cause it. You can't cure it. You can't control it. Stop trying. The whole idea is to try and find serenity, try and find a way to give inner peace, and put down the bricks of resentment that you have towards your loved one because somehow that you think it's your problem. It's not your problem; it's theirs, and you didn't cause it. So stop saying you did. Nothing you do can affect someone else to do something else. It's their decision to do whatever they want to do. So I do want to thank you guys for the well wishes again for my the ones that tuned in last week and said that, and they messaged me saying that they could tell I wasn't feeling well. Yeah, it was, but I wanted to make sure I gave you guys something because evidently I was told. I've been telling people I'm not a content creator, I'm not an influencer, but I was told that if I'm creating content, that makes me a content creator, and if I can somehow influence people towards serenity and not making the same mistakes I did and falling into the same quicksand that I did, that maybe I am an influencer. So look at me, mom. I'm here and up in heaven. So I'm hoping you're proud of me. You and mom, you and dad both. So thanks again, and again we'll go on this journey together. I've made some changes as you see. I've made my screen smaller. No more music again. My wife said I should always wear winter colors. I don't know what that means, but she picked this out for me. So go Navy. But we're going to talk tonight. We're going to delve into step 6 tonight, and I've got my notes here because again I have a habit of I wouldn't say that I'm ADHD. I don't think I am, but I'll be honest. When I do these videos, I do these channels. I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. I get nervous because I kind of feel like, even though I'm looking at a little white light, when I go and talk at meetings, or I go and talk at events, when I go give talks about Serenity and the steps and things of that nature, I can look at people in the crowd and tell if I'm resonating with people. I can tell if I'm making connection. I can tell if I'm getting through to people. I can tell if I'm being effective or if I'm being boring like that. This is difficult. I'm looking at this little white light here, and there's no one here, and I kind of feel like it's either one person or I'm talking to a million. Who knows? But this is can be a little intimidating sometimes. So again, bear with me. I am doing the best I can, and we'll get through this together. You're not alone. And after reading your comments, you realize I'm not alone either. So again, if I have one person tune in a week, I'm happy. I'll keep on doing these. But step 6 is get into it. Another thing my coach told me was I beat around the bush too much. So step 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character. Last week we talked about defects of character and and passing those on to another person, to your higher power, and of course admitting to ourselves is also. And we're so often not honest with ourselves. We have much easier time being honest with other people about ourselves than we do ourselves. But ultimately, we are our own judge. So let's be honest with ourselves so we can get better in this whole thing because you have to clean the slate and you have to kind of keep yourself focused on what's the most important thing. The most important thing is one day waking up and going, I'm allowed to be happy. I'm allowed to be smiling. I'm allowed to go to a wedding, have fun. I'm allowed to go to a function, a party, and not have to worry about what's my loved one doing? What are they not doing? Are they okay? You got to live your life. You got to live your life. You hear me? You got to live your life. I'm talking to you. You know who I'm talking to. You got to live your life. So, until you're ready to have God remove these defects characters. So, what do we do when we take this personal inventory, and only you can take that inventory? But if once you take your personal inventory and you say, okay, I got to change this about me. I do this wrong. This is one of my hangups. This is a defect of my character. And I told you last week, don't get so hung up on don't beat yourself up. Don't be your worst personal critic. We're so hard on ourselves sometimes. But again, you have to be honest. But the idea is that once you put all these defects of character into that bag, that canvas bag, we tend to carry that around with us way too long, and it affects our life. We end up having this burden that we carry around, whether it be guilt, resentment, sadness, personal responsibility, whatever you feel like that is the cause of this weight that you're carrying around. We're the ones holding the burden. So we're the ones that can let it go with God's help. Um, there's again, I've said this many times. There's really not a whole lot I can tell you if you don't believe in a higher power. I don't know if I can. I ain't got nothing for you. Unless you totally think that, unless you think that you're alone in this whole thing, and that only you can help you, as far as only you can help your loved one. I don't know what to tell you. You have to have a belief that there's something besides this. There's something besides me. Absolutely. There's books, there's readings, there's steps, there's prayer, there's meditation, there's sponsorship, there's all kinds of things you can do. But if all that doesn't get your attention, and I don't get your attention, which is possible, believe it or not, you have to understand that you have to look outside of your usual go-to places. Okay, um, if you're not getting it at church, okay, if you're not getting it from your prayer groups, if you're not getting it from your readings, if you're not getting it from your, is it possible maybe you're doing it wrong? It's possible. I mean, I don't think you actually can pray wrong. I don't think you can give up your give it all up to God wrong. But if you hold stuff back and say, I'm willing to give this up, this up, this up, but you know what? I still feel guilty about this, and I'm the one who can control. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and keep on paying their car payment. I'm going to keep on paying their rent because that's, I'm the one responsible. No, stop it, people. Please stop it. You got to either be all in or all out. Picture this for a second. Picture God coming down from from the Almighty, coming down and grabbing you. How many people here remember? I'm 50 year old. How many people remember Etch-a-Sketches? Remember Etch-a-Sketches? Okay, so Etch-a-Sketches. Imagine God taking you by the shoulders and shaking you like an Etch-a-Sketch and erasing everything. It's all gone. The resentments, the guilt, the blame, the sadness, the angst, the tumult, all that is gone. Once you do that, once you have that shake, and you can go ahead and say, I'm going to start with a clean slate. See how that works? Um, ask him, ask your higher power. Here it is. Here are all my defects of character. This is what I'm doing wrong. These are the things that I'm guilty of. And be honest, because he knows what's going on. Your higher power knows all your defects of character, but you got to be honest with yourself and get them all out there. Get them all out there. But once you get them all in front of you, you put them all in that bag. You say, higher power, take them away. Just take them away. Let go. Break the bonds, break the handcuffs, break the shackles of guilt and of blame, and be able to dance, sing, enjoy life, because ultimately that's what he wants more than anything else. He wants you to trust him. Thy will be done. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Thy will. Give the will to him, and he'll take it from you. He'll take these burdens from you. Um, are you ready? Are you ready to have these? Are you ready to have these defects of character removed? If we're being honest, a lot of us say we are, but our actions speak louder than our words. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We say we're ready. We go to the meetings, and we say, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to find serenity. I'm trying to find a way to stop being my loved one's safety net. And we walk out of the meetings, give everyone a hug, high five. I'm going to do it. Walk out in your car, and the first thing you do is hope they're okay. Check their phone, make sure that they're all right. Do they need me? They need my money. They need this. I've been to hundreds of maybe thousands of meetings, and I've heard the same stories over and over and over again. Again, this is why I do this, is because I can hopefully stop you. I can maybe speed up your serenity a little bit for you, and cut to the chase, if you will. I've been to so many meetings. I've heard people say, "Well, all I'm doing is paying this. All I'm doing is paying that. You know, if I don't give them help, who's going to help them or her?" And I just kind of, it's kind of like, the Peanuts teachers. Wah, 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 wah. It's the same. I just hear it and I just go, "Never heard that before." No, I've never done it before either. But until I hear them say they asked me for money, or they asked me for X, and I told them no more. Now you got my attention. Something changed. Something has sunk in. That's your aha moment. That's when you go ahead and say, no more. I've tried it my way. Nothing I do is working. I had a conversation last night with somebody else, and I was saying, again, we're in a bizarro world now. Addiction bizarro world. Nothing makes sense anymore. Everything's up is down, down is up, wet is dry. It doesn't make any sense. So that being said, help is hurt. If you help your loved one with whatever, you're only hurting them, because you're not allowing them to screw up and hit rock bottom. If you want to help them, let them hurt them. Let them get hurt. And again, when I use that term hurt, I don't mean self-harm. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is let them scrape their knee, bump their elbow, burn their finger on the candle. These are all learning experiences. I don't relish in someone getting hurt. None of us do. Especially as a parent, you don't want to see your loved one get hurt. But what are we trying to do? We're trying to make this a learning experience. We're trying to make them make the connection to where this causes this. So if I stop doing this, this will stop happening. That's what it's all about, people. What it's all about is leading the little putting the little bird seeds down on the ground, and having the bird kind of follow them around, and eventually that bird will take flight and find its own food. So does that make sense? Probably not. I'm rambling. Um, so once the clutter of the defects of character, the blame, the sadness, the the anxiety of always wanting to know what's going on with them. Once that all is taken from you, you're going to find yourself in a very awkward place, because for so long we've been dancing this dance with our loved one because we love them. Loved one. Been dancing this dance so long that when you finally have your aha moment and go, no more, I can't do this no more. No more. I'm not going to figure it out. When that finally happens, you're going to feel this sense of, I don't want to say loss, but you're going to feel a sense of awakening. You're going to feel like something inside you, you're going to be reintroduced with yourself. Because for the last months, years, decades, you've been doing everything for them that you think they needed, when in actuality, it's probably more for you because you think it makes sense. But once you say enough, you're allowed to live your life again because ultimately they got to live their life. Let them, people, let them live their life so you can live yours. It's not your responsibility. You didn't cause this. You sure the hell can't control it. You can't cure it. Stop trying. These cliches, you may think, like I said in many of my previous channels and videos, listen. Don't just hear what I'm saying. Listen to what they mean. You did not cause this. You cannot control it, and you sure as hell can't cure it. Stop trying. So, but once the Etch-a-Sketch is shaken, or once you put all this stuff in the bag, and what's the next step, people? Let me take a show of hands. First person answers out what the next step is gets a $10 Starbucks gift card. Great. Okay. Send me your address. It was you. Okay, great. Right. Put it down. Put that bag down. Because you can't run your life. You can't do anything in life if you're carrying around this big bag of bricks of guilt and all these other responsibilities. It's put it down. Put it down and realize you've been carrying this around for so long. You've been carrying around not for them, but you've been carrying around for you. You think that somehow you have to take this responsibility on because it's your responsibility. It's not. It's not. What's going to happen if you tell them no more? What's going to happen? Anyone know? I don't know. I hold on. Magic 8 Ball. Hold on. What's going to happen if I tell them no? Undecided. You don't know, right? Remember these things? My God, I am old. I am old. Who knows what's going to happen? But I know one thing: you've taken your power back. When you tell somebody no more, you've taken your power back, which means now you can now control your life. You won't let them control your life anymore because you were letting them. They weren't controlling your life. You were letting them control your life. So once you have that aha moment, once you have that I'm going to sever this once and for all, and you cut it, you are now free. You're free to do whatever you want to do. Dance at the wedding. Go to on a day date. Go on a night date. Do whatever you want to do. It's your life. Live it. The worst thing that we can do is be given the gift of life and squander it on someone who doesn't value it as much as you do. I mean, does that mean that people who are going through addiction don't value life? They can't make the judgments that you can right now because they're not lucid. They're not present. They're not in their present state. They're being, like I said, imagine addiction's like a wet blanket over them. They're not letting, they can't move. They can't see the light because they're being affected by this. So they once they have their clarity, once they get to where they're lucid, once they become aware and they can make that decision to stop, and it will come. It will come. Either it'll come or this dance will go on for forever, or ultimately it will take them. Sad to say, but it is a real possibility of addiction, sadly enough. You can't save them. Only they can save them. But they have to give it up to God and say, I can't do this no more. So, but once you have done all the things you're supposed to do, and you can wipe away this lens of, wipe this Wipe the lens clear, the mirror, the window. Wipe the window clear and be able to look through it without seeing the spots and the dirtiness and the grime of always being affected by your loved one's addiction. You're going to see sunlight. You're going to see clouds. You're going to see a beautiful blue sky. It's there if you try and find it. It's right above you. It's it's a beautiful thing once you become aware of how wonderful your life can be if you stop living it for someone else. Um, what gives these defects of character such strong roots is because we, as card-carrying members of the Enablers Hall of Fame, codependent chairman of the board, what gives these roots of defect of character so much strength is we, as codependents and enablers, feed them. We feed we feed the roots because we've done it for so long. We feel like this is the only way that we can live our life is through taking care of them. And those roots will grow strong, and they become to the point where that that root doesn't ever want to get out of your house, get off your couch, move out, get a job, quit screwing up. That's on us. That's on us because we keep it going. We keep it going. Listen, don't think for any brief minute that this is somehow easier said than done. I've done it. I've done it. I've made the ultimatums. I've made the deals. I've made the bargains. I've made the threats. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. You just got to be all out, or you'll always be all in. Always. You, if you quit feeding the weed of addiction, it'll die. It will. We keep it going sometimes. We're not. We're preventing them from getting to the end of their rope. You keep on giving them more rope, more rope, and more rope. You're not helping them. You're only hurting them. If you can step back, let your ego stop getting in the way. Ego is edging God out. Step back, let God take over, and let them hurry up and get to the point where they realize they don't want to be this way anymore. It'll happen. It'll happen. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. No matter what happens to them, you owe it to yourself and to your spouse and to your brother and to your sister and to your son or your daughter. You owe it to those people to live your life because you've been given a gift. You've been given the gift of life, so live it. Stop trying to live theirs or somehow trying to influence theirs because only they can do that. Um, I have some plans coming up in the future for some shows where I'd like to go ahead and maybe start watching some shows, maybe some videos on addiction, maybe reacting to them. I'm gonna keep on doing the steps. We're halfway through the steps now. We're just finished step 6. I also am going to have some guests come on also with me as well. Guests that have I know very well that have been through and have done the dance, and maybe the dance didn't come out the way you expected it to. That's all I'm going to say. So I want you guys to understand that if at any time you feel like you can't do it anymore, stop. If you feel like you can't do it anymore, then stop. Who says you have to? Who says you have to keep on doing it? You do. So stop. The most amazing thing that's happened to me in a long time was last night at my weekly meeting, and I saw somebody who had been battling who've been doing their dance with their loved one for a long time now, and they allowed themselves to do something in their life that was fun for them, and that person had a blast. And for the first time, I actually saw a real smile. I told my friend, I says, "Look, she's got teeth. I can't believe it. You're allowed. You're allowed to smile. You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to live your life. Live it, people. Live it. Please. If not for anyone else, for yourself. Because the only person you're responsible for is yourself. Live your life. Please keep on tuning into these channels. I'm going to keep on doing these videos until no one likes them and no one comments on them anymore. Maybe I'll keep on doing them after that too, because I think maybe somewhere people aren't subscribed. YouTube is free, so if you sign up for a YouTube account subscription, it's free. But if you want to comment on my channel, I guess you have to have a YouTube subscription, which is easy and free. But please comment and let me know what you think. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me go to hell. Tell me you're a moron. Tell me I'm ugly. Whatever. I don't care. Tell me something, because I feel like I'm making a connection. Because this little white light ain't doing it. But seriously, people, it does work if you work it. It does. Not a cliche. It's a fact of life. It will work if you work it. If you allow it to happen, it will happen. Stop getting in the way of your own serenity. Give up all these defects of character. Give them over to God, because only He can fix them. Only He can erase them. Only He can shake your Etch-a-Sketch and let it all go away. Okay? Please, don't forget to say a prayer for the prayerless. There's people in this country, this world, that don't get prayed for because everyone's forgotten about them. No one should ever be forgotten about. See you next week. Say a prayer for me that I can keep this momentum going. I appreciate everything you guys are doing for me. And again, it's not your fault. So we'll see you next week. God bless you. Have a good evening.